Imagine this. You're driving today for the food delivery platform DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub or really any gig platform. Rideshare, grocery shopping, parcel delivery. There's a lot of these gig apps. So I put all my stuff in my car. I have limited free time and I'm doing this to make some extra money. Frankly, there's a lot of other things that you could be doing. Now, you understand that the companies pay you in part. Okay, there's this base pay thing, maybe some promotional pay that would be great, but a third of this equation is customer tips. As someone who has worked in this gig economy space for about 10 years now, here are some of the most important reasons rationally looked at why your customer is not tipping you. And let me tell you, it's not all their fault. Well, reason number one, like most of us have discretionary income, some money that we just spend on stuff that we want, not necessarily needs, but wants. And think about how has your discretionary income been in the last year or so. We're seeing signals right now, and this is really no surprise, of a tightening economy and reduced discretionary or extra spending on fast food and subsequently food delivery. When food delivery is continually seen as a luxury, because it is with your extra spending, but prices are going up, fees are going up, yeah, customers might still spend on it. I mean, we're seeing they're actually spending a bit less on it, but they also might tip less because they just don't have the extra money to spend on it. And oh, I know, I hear the comments, let me know if you agree with this. I hear like, hey, you shouldn't be ordering food delivery with your extra money that you don't really have to spend if you can't tip your service provider. Now, what if I told you it's not all the customer's responsibility? Yes, they're the one literally that's tipping. You're not tipping as a rideshare driver, grocery shopper, parcel, courier, food delivery driver, etc. I get that, but it is kind of your responsibility. You're the independent contractor to accept or decline offers and assignments that make sense to you. So reason number two, you're not getting enough tips is because you're accepting the non-tipping offers and you might not even realize it. So how can you tell when an offer is non-tipping? Well, for that, you have to understand how these companies pay. I told you at the beginning, there's their contribution, the base pay. They might add incentive or promotional pay to get you out there to drive, to take assignments, etc. So if the base pay is low, that's signal number one. But if you see like minimum base pay, as low as it can go, that might be a signal there is no customer tip. For instance, if you look at $2, $3, and $4-ish especially, like DoorDash for instance, the minimum company DoorDash contribution base pay is $2. So if I see an offer that is $2 or again, $3, $4, that might just be DoorDash base pay and there is zero customer tip. Well, what about other niches entirely like catering? Catering can average $30, $35 per offer, not per hour, but per offer. Look, they show you, of course, how much it's gonna pay, the pickup location, stuff like that. They show you the specific breakdown of gratuity. All I do is help you make money in different side hustles. I made an app for you to maximize your income, track your income, tax reporting, learn the best practices that ShiftMate. I'll link it down below. Is that amount that they're paying indicating that there might be a tip, or is the pay so low? This is why I don't really want you to accept minimum paying offers. How do I know that? Okay, how do I know what's a minimum paying offer? You gotta know your marketplace. Okay, Instacart, Shipped, a minimum paying offer is this, like $6, whatever it is. Rideshare, Uber, Lyft, a minimum trip is paying this. Food delivery, a minimum trip is paying this. Back to catering, I've seen some and I've accepted assignments that are paying crazy amounts, $20, $25 plus per offer for like super low mileage. But then I've seen ones that are awful payouts per mile, and I know possibly And I've seen this on the back end. Those are $0 tipping catering runs. And also there might be actual work niches that don't qualify for tips, and there might be offer types that don't even qualify for tips. Like Amazon Flex warehouse runs don't qualify for tips, or DoorDash Dashlink. Usually, at the time of filming this, those individual deliveries don't qualify for tips. Okay, but we're trying to figure out why the customer didn't tip. $0 or like a super low paying tip. What if, because these apps will break down the pay, the promotional pay, and the customer tip after you complete these assignments, they'll show you that. But what if it did pay really well? What if you're saying, Mike, I accepted the offer screen, it paid really well. What happened? Because then I completed the assignments and it paid not so well. Sometimes, and I hope this is rare, so let me know if this is indeed rare, the customer did tip, but then they just straight up rug pulled you and they zeroed out the tip. They lowered the tip drastically after the service. This is called tip baiting, and platforms that let the customer adjust the tip after the service. Food delivery does it. A lot of grocery niches do it. Most every niche does this. At least there's some app that lets them do this. I've had that happen multiple times. It's one of the most painful, frustrating things as a gig worker to get rug pulled or tip baited. But how can we prevent tip baiting? Is there anything we can do to prevent a customer removing like a $10, $15, $20 tip because they don't want to pay it? I'll be honest with you, this is why you're a subscriber, hopefully, that there's a percent of customers who go into it knowing they're going to zero out the tip. And no, there's really nothing you can do to prevent that. I do think that's super rare. I've done thousands and thousands of trips and transactions across most every app and niche in the gig economy. It's happened, I can count it on maybe one hand, maybe 10 or less, but certainly less than 10. And we never really know this, right? We never know this. If a customer was going to do this and they changed their mind. But if you communicate any problems, any issues, you deliver well, whatever it is that might prevent something that we would never know if they were going to remove that tip and they decide not to. So delays, out of stock items, if there's really bad weather, construction delays, stuff like that, communicate. Delays, substitutions, etc. That's the best thing you can do, is leading with good customer service, and hopefully it leaves a lasting impression on someone who is going to be really mean and they decided to throw you a bone or a tip. Okay, that's rare though. This last one might be the most realistic. So if you got this far in the video, can you like the video? Make sure to check out our ShiftMate app and let me know which one of these is the most realistic. Is it this one? So maybe you order food delivery. I used to order way too much food delivery. I cut back. But a lot of us are customers as well. We've tipped before. But sometimes, the customers just think a lot of these fees go to the driver, the courier, the shopper, whatever it is. They see delivery fee or some kind of whatever it's called, other kind of fee, and they just assume that's gotta, it says delivery fee, it's gotta go to the service provider. Now, who does that fall on to fix that? If there's a confusion between the customer and the fee, and then the ultimate gig worker yourself. Frankly, that goes back to the education that the company should be doing, educating their customer on the fees and then tips, distinguishing the two so the customer knows, hey, the fees are for this, and then this actually goes to your gig worker. We could even go a step further, right? Is distinguishing the fees versus the tips here, but to encourage tips to your delivery driver, whatever it is here. And I've seen things like pop-ups in the app that says, hey, your dasher is out in bad weather. Consider whatever it says, increasing your tip or tipping more. Or maybe your Uber Eats driver or whatever it is. I like to see this especially on like Zifty, Deliver That, and catering platforms. Any platform, Shipt and Instacart, this would be good too. They're doing more work. Like your Instacart shopper is shopping for 50, 60 items. Hey, it's taking them longer, more work, having a little animation and pop up in the app. Consider tipping more. Because they're especially like grocery shopping, catering, where I have to come in, I have to set it up banquet style. I am doing a bit more work than some of these other platforms. Tips are an integral part of your gig economy income, really a third of your income. A lot of the times it's a one-to-one. I'm making as much money from base pay and promotional pay as I am with tips. And it of course adds together to make this worth it or not worth it for you. So which one of these is the most realistic? And are you close to a one-to-one with base pay and promotional pay and tips? And I guess what % of your customers are tipping? I want you to hit 70, 80% plus of your customers leaving a tip. I average like $4 to $5 per tip when I'm doing food delivery. How close are you to those numbers?